brothers and the occasional sister. The views of this video are only my views and they're not necessarily correct. They're just what I have learnt from my past experiences, so take them with a grain of salt and don't be shy to comment below and say, Clay, I don't agree with that and here's why. And if it's something to do with anything science, put a link below so I can read it, because I like to be corrected on stuff. Anyway, we're in the paddock with old Poe, who's looking a bit fat, aren't you, eh? Old Poe and Johnny. We're on to, I think, our 4th round now. According to the watch, it's gone out. Good dogs. And before I kick this one in the guts, a little bit about my colourful attire. The shirt, the op shop, SPCA op shop actually, next to Repco and Motueka. Saw it and I thought there's a bit of colour for me day, so I'll smack that on. In this video I want to talk about a number of topics. First topic is a topic that's dear to my heart. It's hunting, not just pig hunting, which is obviously one of the things I do because I have these little guys all around me. Well, there he goes, Pace at the back. Hunting for each person has a different purpose. I would say there was a time when I was actually addicted to hunting. I would use the excuse if I'm passionate about it, but when something starts to interfere with your relationships with other people, your life, your health, your sleep, your finances, then it's become an addiction. I compare it to someone who says, oh look, I don't have an addiction to pee, but I am a user. I've heard that one from quite a few people over the years I've tried to help. And I'll say to them, well, if you're just a user, why are you completely broke? Why is your financial state so bad? And why do you shit yourself sometimes? And why is your liver not performing well? And why have you aged so rapidly? And it's the same with hunting. I was addicted to hunting for a long time. I've had a lot of addictions through my life of different things. Something that's never really fully gone away, but something I've learnt to manage in a healthy way. So my purpose for hunting started off probably when I was a child, and I saw some pig hunting going on. I was very, very young. I was just a 5 or 6 year old kid, because my dad did it and his friends did it. So that planted the seed, and that's where a lot of things often start. But then when I was in Europe as a musician, I missed it. And I did a little bit over there, which turned out to be illegal. That's a story for another day. Come back to New Zealand, got my own dogs, and the rest was history. And my reasons for hunting was the pure buzz of it, just the pure buzz, and to gather meat for my children. Look at this guy here, beautiful dog. Today, I do very little hunting compared to what I used to do, because I'm not addicted. I still love it, and next month, in March, I'm going back to try and get a boar that I caught last year, but I didn't give it the knife, I didn't shoot it. It actually chased me to the deck of my truck, and my dog Nut, who I had to put down when I come home because he had liver failure. That's my mission, so I'm looking forward to that, but I'm not doing a huge amount of hunting like I used to, and I'm at a stage in my life where I'm 62 now, and there's other things I want to experience. And I spent a lot of my last sort of 15 years teaching a lot of young fellas and taking them out, and I'm still going to do that, but I want to also make time for doing some solo missions by myself. So my reasons for always hunting has been great lifestyle, connected with the community of people that hunt, bringing home meat, the buzz of the bale, going down to it, and testing myself in the elements. Pig hunting is one of the hardest things you could possibly do. I'd say only thing I could maybe it might be harder would be like doing motocross or mixed martial arts. Maybe might be harder, but yes and no. You see, those things you can stop. Pig hunting, when the dogs are on and you're exhausted and you've been going all day and suddenly they're on, you've got to back them up. So you've got to get down to that bale. You've got to, when you've got the lactic acid built up in your legs and you can no longer go, you've got to go. Other sports, you go, oh fuck, that's it. Pig hunting, you go to your drop if you're standing by your dogs. My mate Richard, he's a regular hunter, and yesterday he actually got bitten by the boar, and yeah, that's not the first for Richard. He's a guy that I would say is passionate about it because he's got it in the right balance. He does enough, but he looks after his job, he looks after his home, he looks after his relationships with his wife and his family, his friends. Come on, get on pace, get on pace. That's the balance, whereas other hunters I know, how I used to be, they're excessive, they've got to go all the time. Anyway, that's the hunting topic I want to talk about. What are you looking at, Pace? Oh, you can hear that motorbike, can't you? You stay in. Relationships with women. I'm not at all, slightly even that much qualified to talk about that topic, because I've had too many failed relationships. Got a good one now, but so I'm not going to talk about that one. I think someone else, I thought about it, but I thought, nah, I'm not qualified. It'd be like, I don't know, someone who's a non-golfer trying to explain golf. So I'm just going to pass on that one. But I will say one thing about that before I pass on it. If you're a young guy who's thinking about getting married, and two things about that. First one is, just ask the question, do I really need to get married these days? And the second one is, look at her mother, because that's how she's probably going to turn out. And I know there's a few women are going to be going, no, I'm nothing like my mother. Actually, you are. You're quite a bit like her, actually. So that's my only bit on that. Right, let's move on. I'm going to touch on something in this next thing, and it's about buying stuff and having stuff. And I talked about this in my last video for when you get older, past 60. Okay. Here's my 2 cents worth on this. It's not actually, say you're going to buy a new phone, the new Galaxy S26 Ultra is about to come out. The pleasure you're mostly going to get is the wanting it, saving your money, to making sure you've got enough to buy it, going to the shop, looking at it, imagining having it, imagining how it's going to be, imagining how it's going to give you an edge over your competitors or an edge over yourself in sport, or the new camera it's got on. You start imagining these things. Once you buy that phone, you've got a phone, you've got to get a screensaver on it, you've got to download apps, you've got to fart around with it, you've got to get rid of the box, you've got to charge it, and all the things you come with it. Once you actually have that phone, that amount of joy is nowhere near as much of the joy before you bought it. So I'm a great believer at this stage in life, actually any stage, but really important at this stage, to by all means spend your money. Don't hold on to it because you ain't taking it with you, but spend it rather on things like phones and boats and motorbikes and wave skis and vehicles and shit. Spend it on experiences, because soon enough these things here will no longer work. Your legs, you'll be sitting down in a bloody chair and you'll be weak as you're going towards your death, which is inevitable for all of us. So you'll be thinking back, and you won't be thinking back to that new phone, you'll be thinking back to that experience when you went down south and you saw your first kiwi on Stewart Island, or you shot your first whitetail there, or you shot your first pig at the Bale with your mate, or you met the woman of your dreams. And these things happen because you did something, you went somewhere, you made something happen. So that's my theory on ownership of stuff. You don't want to fill your life up with things that you've got to take care of, because they just become liabilities rather than assets, unless you're actually buying assets like something. Yeah, Pace, get in. That's again only my views. What are you doing, Pace? You behave yourself. Right, I'll try not to rattle too much on this one here, because it's probably the biggest topic. It's dear to my heart over everything that I talk about, and I try not to talk about too much because it just becomes a royal pain in the ass hearing someone rattle on about our health. And I do feel I'm qualified to talk about this one. I'm very qualified because I've had 2 disease processes, and I'm still currently living with disease processes, but I'm, according to my stats and my biomarkers, I'm healthy. You can be fit and have a disease, you can be terminal and be strong. And there's all these different things that sort of, this grey area, and there's a clear line to what metabolic health is. So there's certain markers that are used to measure your metabolic health. One of the ones for cardiovascular and how sort of long you can live is your VO2 max. I'm not going to say what my number is because it will sound like I'm skiting, but I will tell you I'm the very top end of it, and that's actually not important. But for you, whatever age you are, getting your VO2 max up is important, but how you get it up is equally important, because like you could run real hard, but you do damage to your knees. And there's nothing wrong with running. I run. I do a 10k run maybe once a week or once a fortnight, but I do a whole lot of exercise. I do, oh, my recording stopped. No, it's still going. The phone just said it's going to stop. I do a whole lot of exercise. I mix it up. I do rowing, and I enjoy the rowing machine. I put on some really cool music, some AC/DC or something I like listening to, and I just pump it out for an hour. I like my mountain bike. The other day I went down to Kaitieri mountain bike park, which I go occasionally, but also mountain bike all around here. I love that. I love my kayak fishing, just power out in the water, get the heart and lungs going. It's great. You've got that 360 degrees cockpit, you can see everything. So it's a good workout. The mountain bike is one that you can just pump like fury, and then when you get tired you just relax. So it's really good for doing I use the Norwegian 4x4 for getting the VO2 max up. That's where you go hard ass for 4 minutes. So your full heart capacity, or almost 95%. And you work that out by taking the number 222 and you take your age away from that, and that's your highest number. That's how you work out what your top is. So you do 4 minutes of full tit. It could be sprinting, running, or it's going to be on a flat surface, not hill. Or it could be, this will be no good because I'm walking up a hill right now. It could be on a bike on the flat, or the rowing machine's really good because you're using a lot of your body. You're using arms, legs, back, pretty much everything. So it's even a better one. So that's one thing to do. 4x4, 4 minutes really hard. I do 3 minutes of going slow, zone 2, just relax. Another 4 minutes hard. Do that 4 times. And there's all different protocols. It's just one of the many types of HIIT training you can do. So that's to get your VO2 max up. But before you start thrashing around and trying to get that up and doing all your runs, and that's just some of the stuff I do obviously hunting is probably my main way of getting fit during the winter, but I don't hunt much in the summer, virtually not at all. I used to, but not anymore. So there's swimming's another good one, which I don't do. A bit of surfing occasionally, but today I am going swimming, but it's rare. But you got to enjoy it, you got to enjoy what you're doing. So it might be dancing. I think dancing is a great way to get fit, but moving every day is so important for overall just everything, because we're supposed to move, and so many people, their lives are spent not even getting the minimum of the 20 to 30 minutes a day of cardio or exercise. So it's not just diet though, it's also sleep, and I struggle with it because I often wake up in the middle, I go straight to sleep, boom, go to sleep, and I wake up at 3 in the morning, my arms and legs are hurting, or something's not comfortable. I've done too much the day before, I might have pushed it too hard, and there's getting the balance right. Or my mind starts thinking of something cool. I start getting excited and I think, hold on a minute. So what I've done to help myself sleep recently is I've been playing a meditation at night, and the guy talks you down, and you go into this meditation. It's a sleep meditation. You get an app. There's different apps you can look on your phone to get it. That's been really helping, and I'm investing in that, making sure my room's all dark, making sure there's nothing creeping through the curtains, trying to keep my bedtime as regular as possible, and not stay up late, keep off my phone, keep off my computer, and just play a bit of music in the evening on my guitar with the candles burning. And it's a really nice quiet way to sort of warm into the night. And then in the morning, making sure getting plenty of that sunlight on your eyes, that's the best one to set the circadian rhythm. But it's difficult as you get older. Your sleep gets less, your amount of deep sleep gets less as you get older, so it's difficult. My variable heart rate could be better, but considering I had heart disease 4 years ago, and I've won that battle, it's not bad. For me, it's the rhythm of my heart. Sometimes I'll be a little bit out, and that's just me. You might have a perfectly good rhythm, but keeping an eye on those things is important. So that's the sleep, the exercise. The other one that's really important is managing the relationships with people around me. And the best way for me to do that is to be honest, to make my intentions honest, to set up the framework of every relationship I go into before I go into it with somebody, so they know what's going down, how stuff's going to be. So these are my boundaries. This is who I am. This is what I do. So there's no false expectations of whatever sort of relationship, whether it's a business one, or whether it's with a woman, or whether it's with a colleague, or whether it's with a mate, to make sure there's a clear boundary and a clear framework that I'm having this relationship with you in. So my intentions are always clear. The things I will accept, the things I don't accept. There's certain things I don't accept with people. I don't accept racism. I won't accept that. I don't accept people that bully people. If you steal from me, fall on your sword. If you lie to me in a way to gain something from me, or I understand some guys will tell little porky pies about little things to make themselves feel better. You can tell when someone's bullshitting anyway, but I generally let that slide because that's their journey. But if they do something, they lie to me to gain something from me in a deceitful way, then fall on your sword, mate. Like, I'd rather have no friends than false friends, and I've got some really, really good friends, so I don't need idiots. So having good relationships, it's a bit of work. You've got to make sure you bring that bloke up or talk to them and maintain it. And us men are shit at that. We don't form networks. I've got a great network, but I've had to work at it. It's not natural for me to have a network. I've got mates that I keep contact with, and I genuinely care about them, and they genuinely care about me. But I also appreciate they've got their own life, so I don't have an expectation they're going to be there every time shit hits the fan, although generally they are. So there's another one of the pillars of good health, is relationships. And I guess there's it's pretty clear the evidence is that men that have wives in their lives that they love, that are in loving relationships, they have probably, excluding all the other outside factors, the best health and long-term outcomes. The Dunedin study clearly shows that, where it's not a relationship with friction, but of mutual respect and understanding, and they are a team. And when one of them goes, often the other one goes very quickly after it. Yes, that's interesting, isn't it? You can have all the other stuff, but if you don't have that relationship, and I think what the science behind it would say is that they're living in their parasympathetic nervous system, like their nervous system is completely chill. They go to bed, the heart rate is down because they've got this person they love beside them, and they feel calm. If it's a healthy relationship, and it really does show that we are actually not meant to be alone. Although I must say, I really love living alone. I've lived with women before, and I do love my partner, but I really love being alone. I just love being in my own space, in my own thoughts. That's the nature of how I've sort of evolved, and that's just me. And on that note, if you're alone and you love being alone, then cool. There should be no feeling that you have to be doing anything. You just got to live your truth. So they're not the main pillars. Out of all of those, the number one thing that I would rate from my own experience would be diet. And the reason I talk about diet is because, my watch is talking, it's just telling me, been going for an hour, okay. My diet has been very similar to a lot of my addictions. I've been addicted to certain types of food. Addicted to fish for a long time, addicted to just meat. I basically created the carnivore diet before it even lived. After I got cancer 8 years ago now, after the surgery, I did one meal a day where I mostly lived off meat and fat and a little bit of dairy, which was the worst thing I could have done for my heart. Felt good, I looked good, my weight went down, all my markers were good, but and I think this is a problem with the carnivore diet. You really feel really good. And I was on it for about nearly 5 years. I would call it ketovore because I had vegetables as well. It wasn't strict, but I definitely wasn't. I'll tell you what's going on. My triglycerides were good. My HSCRP, the inflammation was pretty good. It was only like 1.5. But today it's 0.5, so it was okay, but my LDL, my ApoB was through the roof. So that diet there, as much as I'd researched it, which was by bro science, failed me. And it's a great diet for some people for a short term, but all I will say, if you're doing that diet, check your ApoB. That's all I'll say about that, because that measures the atherogenic lipids in your blood that could be giving you heart disease. Righto, so for me, after cancer and after heart disease and being a very sick puppy 4 years ago, a male to be, I went to a whole food plant-based diet, devoid of oils, all oils, devoid of caffeine, devoid of all refined carbohydrates, and basically lived off complex, and do live off complex carbohydrates, all the good fats, all the good, and not a high amount of nuts and seeds, because they also have that saturated fat, but enough for the EPA and DHA for the brain. So flaxseed, chia seed, a couple of walnuts a day, and my cardiovascular health has, not only has it halted the disease, but it's actually reversed it. All my markers are better than what they were 4 years ago. That's probably a topic for another day, that journey, but it's controversial, of course, because people go, well, that's a dumb diet. Well, the reality is I wouldn't be talking to you. 12 other men that started on the diet with me that all had heart disease, and not as sick as me. 12 of them started on it. 11 are dead today. In the 4 years they've died, including one of my closest mates, Peter Crowell, who was a good mate who was in my circle. He was the guy that trucked up to my house and cleaned it when I had cancer. He died of a heart attack, and Peter was a guy that started following the diet protocol with the other guys and me, and eventually dropped off and went back to eating meat. And yeah, I think it was over a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago now, Peter died. So, and I've seen them all drop, and it's just so sad, because with heart disease, it can be healed with a whole food plant-based diet. Simple as that. Follow Dr. Dean Ornish, Dr. Carvel Beerselstein, Dr. T. Coleman Campbell, all those guys, and don't really take my word for it, just Google what evidence is there of heart disease reversal with whole food plant-based diet, and you'll get your answer straight away. It's the only diet that's ever done it, and the evidence is clear. Right, that's another topic. I'm going to move on now. Swamp hawk. Been looking for rabbits to feast around here, and there's plenty of them. Right, I have actually touched on this one a bit. Come on, dogs, we're doing another lap. I want to touch on this one, which is addiction. And when I use the words addiction, I'm going to talk about it from my own experiences as someone who has been addicted to many things. The fact that you have a habit, or the fact that I've had a habit, is not actually the habit itself, whether it's drinking. I've actually never been a serious alcoholic. I used to drink a lot of whiskey in the day, but I never missed it, and I don't miss it at all. I haven't had a drink in 4 years. I don't even think about it, so I don't qualify as being an alcoholic. On the other hand, an avid meat eater that just would eat so much, gluttony almost. It was gluttony. I'd be eating all the pork crackling and fat and putting on weight, and you could see the weight on me. I used to be overweight, and that's a food addiction right there. But the food really is not. There's nothing wrong with meat. There's nothing wrong with fat. In the right context, it's great. But if you eat too much, it's excessive. So something is considered addictive when it impinges on your relationships, your health, your life, and obviously overeating is a biggie. And it's probably one of the most common addictions there is. People don't even realise it. And it's the reason as to why do you keep having to satiate when you're already full? What is that? And it's actually something for me, and I'm only speaking of experience, is something's missing. I'm feeling something missing. I don't know what it is. I feel like I've lost something or somebody or something. There's something I can't put my finger on that I just start feeling. And it's an emptiness. And someone says, God. Well, that's for some people an answer. Because God is everywhere. And that makes sense for some people, but not everybody. Because then you've got to beg the question, okay, which God is it going to be? If I'm going to do the God scenario. And this is not a talk about religion, by the way, it's a talk about addiction, but there are so many gods, and they all believe themselves to be right. I think the only religion that's pretty accepting everybody else is which one is that? There's one that's, the sheiks. Is that actually a religion? Those guys are pretty chill about everything. So the neighbour who's got a dog just went past, and his dog had a crack at Pace the other day. He's got him in the truck. We just went past, and old Pace is going trying to find him. Come on, buddy. Come on, Pace. Step on it. Good boy. It's getting old. I wonder how he's going to go next month if we get onto this pig we're chasing. Anyway, I digress. I've got a lot of friends that are Christians, and I've asked all of them the question, does knowing Jesus, does that make you feel whole all the time? Are you always content? Are you not happy? Happiness comes and goes, but are you content within 100% of the time. And out of all of my friends, 2 of them have said to me, yes. 2 of them have said, yes, I am content. And I believe them. And even if they're making it up, that's okay. That's their journey. But the rest of them, when I've really got down to it, and the reason I know is because the rest of them are people I've actually had to help out with stuff. They've become unstuck emotionally with stuff or mentally with stuff. So, and that's a human thing. It has nothing to do with God. But this is not a conversation about God or whether God even exists or not, or what religion you choose. It's about the emptiness that has made me in the past do this, or go excessively with fighting when I used to do the little bit of martial arts I did, or excessive with everything. It's trying to fill something, and I'm now at a point in my life where I feel content. But I still have the curiosity to explore different things. I still got that wonder and that curiosity and that spark, and I don't have the excessive amount of what I used to do. But what I will say, if you've got any sort of addiction at all, then whether it's addicted to dope or pee or whatever it is, change your addiction to something healthy, so you serve not only yourself but your community. Make yourself become addicted to being the best version of yourself you can become, because we've all got battles within that make us do things that we shouldn't do. We all act less than graceful sometimes and fall from grace. We've all done something to our body that was not good, or to someone else, and that's just part of being the human experience. But while you know you've got some sort of addictive personality, and for me, I've become addicted to, actually, for me it's been studying human biology and learning how to be well and to beat disease, and that's become my new addiction. And to follow through with that and act it out, that means to make sure that every day I get plenty of exercise, I look after my relationships, I get plenty of sleep, I don't eat the wrong food, I eat the right clean food, I do a certain amount of resistance training, a certain amount of cardio, make time for my children, make time for the people I love, and make time for my partner, and make time for the relationships that are important, and do also the things that help my community, so I can feel okay that I'm not just bludgeoning off the system, that I'm part of the system and that we're all connected. Again, these are only my views on addiction, and I have been addicted to everything. I've been addicted to women. That was a big part of my life when I was younger. I've been addicted to gambling. I've been addicted to substances, obviously. And I've been addicted to pig hunting, like just hunting all the time. I used to be excessively hunting, and I wasn't even a particularly good hunter, considering how much hunting I did. So sometimes you can be addicted to something and not even do it very well. And I'll go so far as to say I'm still not a very good hunter. I'm just a guy that enjoys it. Good girl, Poe. There's your good girl. Come on. Good boy. Hey. Right, we're going to just do a couple more Ks and then call it quits, and I want to put the phone down before then. And my last topic is actually about fishing. Something that I'm also very passionate about is fishing. And I want to give you my 2 cents worth on fishing. I could have afforded to have sold my ute and bought a really good boat with it. Like a really good boat. I'd get about 27 grand for my Hilux, which is 2013, with all the bits and pieces. But I've made the executive's decision to gift that to my oldest daughter Dayla, simply for the fact that she's worked so incredibly hard, and today that's what she's here to get. She's here to pick it up. Well, we're going to start working on that. But I could buy a boat, but even if I wasn't gifting that and I had the money to spend, I wouldn't buy it. And I'll tell you why. If you look behind me, you'll see the old houseboat parked up there. Now that there's been sitting on the land since my dad gifted me that, and I've spent so much money on it, just sitting on the land maintaining it. I can't afford to put it back in the water because it needs its windows all replaced and other jobs done. And it's basically not an asset, it's a liability that's cost me a lot of money. And that's what boats are. They're not assets, they're liabilities. They're a big frigging hole that you just like pour money into and it keeps on going. And there's a boat I'm not even using that's costing me. I'd hate to think what I've spent on it so far. and one day I will put it back in the water and I'll enjoy it. But dollar for dollar, and even though it was gifted to me, I haven't really, and I really appreciate Dad giving it to me. He didn't really have much choice. He was either going to sell it, and I think he's probably glad I've kept it in the family and I've preserved it, which I'm doing. And whilst I can afford to do that, I will continue to keep bringing it up to speed, but it's been a slow process amongst just the day-to-day living. So boats are awesome when they're your mate's boats. So if a mate takes me out in a boat, I'll pay for all the fuel. That's the least you can do, because you know he's paying for a hell of a lot more. But I don't even enjoy fishing that much out of a boat like I used to. I used to love it because you can go way out to sea and catch big fish and you can chill out. But there's the cleaning of the boat afterwards, the boat ramp, the fees, the trailer costs money. They're a lot of work, you know. And you kind of like, at the end of the day, well for me at the end of the day of being on a boat, I'm a bit jaded, I feel a bit wobbly, and I don't feel, I like them and I'm not against them, but, and obviously probably the best tool on the planet for fishing with, but I personally like my kayak. For the simple reason is I'm right down in the water, it's close and personal with everything. You're in this cockpit, you're sitting around and you can basically see a whole 360 degrees around yourself and see what's going on. And there goes the beautiful log cabin. Woohoo, it's a dream. Thank you, Daniel Heath, good man. Come on. But I also like the aspect of testing myself. Good boy, Johnny. Still here like a little shadow. I like the idea of testing myself and testing myself against the sea. It's a challenge. Go out there with just a paddle and you get the heart and lungs going. Good workout for the core if you're paddling the right way. And you catch fish. And sometimes you catch more fish than the guy who's got the Stabicraft. And I've had that happen more than once, where I pulled up down at the Crossy Point where I come back up and they come back up and they've got their boat and they've got their bin full of fish. And I keep it all I want, so I might have 2 good snapper or 3 good snapper. And I'll tell them, yeah, I caught my 10, but I released 7 of them, and this was the best. When I actually caught more than 10, I released them, and I took 3 or 4. And they'll say, geez, we only got a couple between us each. And it's because they're in a noisy boat where the harmonics aren't great. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Other times those guys will smash it out of the park, particularly as far as size go, because the further you go out, the deeper you go, the bigger the fish get where I live here. But I do think that fishing is a brilliant activity for us blokes, and for women too. And I really think the kayak is one of the best because you maintain your fitness, you're working. And yeah, it can be hard on the back. A lot of guys struggle with their backs. I'd say do some strength training, get your back strong so you can handle it. A lot of guys I got mates that tried to do it and they just couldn't do it. Their back found it too hard. You just got to strengthen your back up. Put your back into it. It's like anything. A wee bit of training. You start off slow, you go out maybe just 500 metres offshore, drop your anchor and fish till you're comfortable, and then come back in. And you increase it till you're out to 1 kilometre, and then 1.5k, 2k. And eventually, there's days when you might go out 6 or 7 or even 8k offshore to chase the bigger ones, but take your personal locator beacon. I've just bought a brand new one actually. I was using the Rescue Link, but I bought a really small one, a little yellow one, which is apparently the smallest in the world. So that's my spin on fishing. And as far as fishing goes, I'm a very average fisherman. Some people would say I'm a crap fisherman if they were honest, and I would totally get that. The reason I catch lots of fish is because I just do it and I enjoy it. Sometimes I've got my bloody reel upside down. I'm very, very dyslexic. Sometimes I'm not doing it right and I'm stuffing it up, but it doesn't matter. No one cares. No one gives a rat's ass. Obviously, if you do something the right way, you want to do it the right way, but the main thing is you're just doing it. So whatever we're doing in our life, whatever we're thinking, whatever we're playing on, it comes from either a place of love within ourselves, or it comes from a place of fear. And if you're worrying about what everybody else is thinking, or if you're getting it right, or you don't want to be seen as being stupid or something, then you come from a place of fear, and that's not good for you. Because actually, no one gives a rat's ass how many fish you catch. No one cares how many fish I catch, really, except those I'm feeding. Other people can just judge, and it's the same for you. No one cares. No one's even thinking about you. So fish however you like fishing, get into it, buy the sort of rod you want, talk to them at the shop, enjoy the process of having the gear, and most important, just get out and do it. Make the experience happen. It's no good having a boat tucked away that you're not using it. If you've got a boat and you're not using it, sell it so someone else can use it, and you've got the money. Don't just have it sitting there thinking, I'm going to go, and you never go. It's just hoarding, and it's not even practical, and it's also, you're sort of deluding yourself a bit that you're going to go fishing. If you're a person that goes fishing once a year, you're better off borrowing someone else's boat. Or if you're like me, you've got a kayak. I've got two. I've got one for patrons. I take patrons out kayak fishing, and I've got one for myself. They get used. They get used regularly. I haven't done a lot of fishing this year because the weather's been crap, but I will be. Anyway, as always, only my views. We're into 36 minutes almost in this video. I'm going to do another couple of laps with the dogs. We're doing a 10k walk today. Just a nice, slow, easy walk because the body is a bit sore. I've pushed it a bit hard the last couple of days, so it's just a way of just winding down. And then I'm going to go up and start cleaning my ute out for my daughter Dayla. And we're going to think about what we're going to do with that dog box on top. I'll sell it to some young pig hunter, or maybe some old pig hunter. It's got to be worth a few, quite a bit. It's alloy, it's got water tank. I'll probably sell it cheap because it needs a bit of welding done on it. Anyway, go steady brothers and the occasional sister. Where's the dogs? There they go. Still hanging with me. Good dogs. Good boy, Johnny. There's your good boy. Make it a great day, guys. Make it a great day. And I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.